Hello, today we are here to discuss Graveyard Chess. This is an upcoming Kickstarter we got to preview. It is releasing on Halloween night, which is not this coming Monday, but the Monday after, assuming I put this video up. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the 31st this year, apparently. So, before we get into the discussion of this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down there so you can see all these awesome Kickstarters and sneak previews into games that are coming out, and all the games we have in our collection that we're reviewing as we go back through the vault. I would call it the vault or the vintage closet. I get it mixed up, but
it's the old place.
Yes, the old folks' home.
Yeah.
All right, now as far as this game, Rob, what did you find about?
So there's not a whole lot of data on Board Game Geek yet, but we've got a little bit of information. This is a 2-player chess variant game that doesn't have any ratings or rank yet. The designer is Nathan Benson, with Catherine Heighton as the artist, and it's going to be a self-published game. So that's all I got.
Yeah. So this, as you mentioned, is a chess variant. It's very reminiscent. If you've played like Seventh Guest, I'm a huge fan of Seventh Guest. It's one of my favorite all-time computer games. I love the little puzzles on it. And they all had these restricted chessboards, and you had to get your pieces to move to the other side. It reminds me of that. And not to mention the theme of it just reminds me of what you might see.
And maybe more modern as far as the variant, maybe kind of like War Chest or maybe Onitama, something like that.
Yes.
So definitely a chess variant, though.
But yes, as far as the components, this is a prototype. It's not the final version, but when I spoke to Nathan about this game, he confirmed that the board is going to be the same as this, which the board is kind of a glossy stock. It's not the stock that I prefer as far as boards, but it does okay. It's not horribly bad. If you have an overhead light, though, it could be very reflective.
It kind of got some glare to it, but it does look good, though.
Yeah.
And it's a good quality,
and
too.
The choice of the chessboard on it looks like a graveyard, which I love.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. And
the box is supposed to be, I think, what you'll see with the Kickstarter version as well, right?
Yeah. The only thing that's different is these pieces, which I didn't even notice were 3D printed. They're really well done.
Great.
But they do look great for a 3D print.
Yes, they do.
They're going to be molded in the final product. So it isn't quite the final product, but it is pretty close. And I love the pieces.
I do too.
That when I saw this and got it out, I'm like, oh, I love these, especially the little ghosts. I love
they
the
look
ghosts.
really cool.
But the different characters act similar to the chess pieces. They're just with more restricted movement. The ghosts actually are just like the knights in chess. It all functions pretty much the same.
And if you will have to paint them, I mean, if you go by this color scheme, it's going to be really easy to print. So it won't take a master painter for miniatures to be able to get it to look good.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad as it is.
Yeah,
it's already painted.
That's what I'm saying. It looks great.
If you want to touch it and make it your own special look, I think you could do that easily.
Yeah. If you want real brains in there instead of pink.
The only thing you got to be careful of is these change hands, so you can't paint them like different colors to match the different sides because they're going to flip back and forth. So the necromancers, these are kind of your king in the game. They're the only ones that actually are suited.
And they specifically have to be gold and purple or violet because that's the way the rules read it.
Well, it's the names of the characters. So the wizards are like, I forget what their names
necromancers.
They're necromancers, yes. Evil wizards. But their names are something the gold and something the violet.
Yeah.
So.
But other than that, I think it'd be easy to paint them if they don't already come painted. So.
Yeah. So, as far as components, I mean, if I was rating the quality of this game, I would already probably give it a 7. I think it, in the prototype form, it's already looks great. So I think it's going to look amazing whenever you see it. I
would even go a little bit higher with this version just because it's already pre-painted. So I'd go 7.5.
Okay. As far as the theme of this, I love this theme. It's very... a great game to get out this time of year to play, and it's quick. It's not, this is like, we played it in 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah. And this would be great. I mean, it didn't give, Board Game Geek didn't give really an age rating, but I think anyone that can pick up chess will easily pick this game up because it's nowhere near as complicated.
Well, it's 8 and up on the...
Oh, does it say? Okay, it didn't say it on Board Game Geek. But I mean, easily, I think 8 and up. So it'd be a great family game.
Mm-hmm. And it does say 15 minutes, which is about what we played it in. So it's very simple. It's quick to learn, quick to teach.
Yeah.
The rules actually are one piece of paper. We'll get to that in a minute. As far as the theme, I love it. It's not, I mean, it's not heavy, but you got skeletons, ghouls, or zombies, and ghosts, and then your necromancer, which makes perfect sense. And you're basically battling over dominance of the graveyard, I guess.
Well, you're supposed to become the
Grand Master,
the Grand
necromancer.
Master, something like that.
So I think it's fun. It's a very cute game for a Halloween theme. I'm going to probably go ahead and give this, even though it's not intrinsic to the gameplay, it's clearly a chess variant. It's layered on to an abstract gameplay. Sure. I'll give it an 8. I think
I agree. I just overall it was really cool. So 8.
All right, moving on to the rule sheet, whatever. It's very easy to read and understand this. It's got a quick setup. It's probably no cover because there's nothing to put a cover on. But it's got how to start the game. So we just basically mixed and chose which color by random, and then whoever's gold goes first. You then are going to arrange the setup so that basically all of they've got specific locations where everything goes, but you're already butting heads immediately. So there's no moving and building up for the center. Everything is already attacking right away. Matter of fact, I don't think you could really move without claiming a piece almost on the first turn.
I think immediately we grab a piece each.
So when you move and you claim a piece, the piece goes back to
your graveyard.
So it's, you get it and can respawn it because you're a necromancer, which makes perfect sense. As far as the movements, they're very clearly delineated on the back.
You only got 4 types of units.
Yes. It doesn't have a cheat sheet, but you don't need one because you could just put this out on the table. Everybody can see it because there's only 2 player, and you would have them. But honestly, you'll remember them once you start playing, and it's not any trouble.
1 or 2 rounds. That's all of it.
I mean, it's hard to rate this because there's nothing to the gameplay. So, but I'm going to go ahead and give it because it is so quick and easy. And it's a 1 sheet. I'm probably going to give it a 9. I mean, there's not much to take off for.
The function of a rule page is to be able to set it up, teach it, and get out as quickly as possible, as easily as possible. It does that in space.
Get you into the game, right? Yeah. So, moving on to the gameplay of this. So, the gameplay, as we mentioned, you're going to start out set up here with the specific positioning that they give you to start the game, which involves having your pieces set up like this, and then you would have the same on the other side facing against you.
Yeah, so the direction they point is very important to me.
So that's the one thing I could say. You could end up, if you're playing this, you could be in a situation with this back here. You could end up getting something turned around, and it would mess up your entire game. So you got to be very careful on that. That's the one thing. But I don't think there's anything you could do to get to improve that.
No,
because
you just got to be careful when playing.
Yeah. So basically, this is how the board would look starting out. And if gold goes first, the first thing I'm going to have to do is claim a piece, probably, because we're all butting it right away.
Yep.
So now the pieces, the way they move, the zombies will move 1 space to straight forward, straight back, left or right. So they're not quite pawns. They look
a little bit more powerful.
Pawns. They're more like a weakened rook.
Yeah.
Your skeletons are kind of like your bishops. They can move diagonally 1 or 2 spaces depending on whether they're...
But that's because of the size of the board.
Yeah, the board limits them.
Yeah.
But, specifically the rules, it calls them they can move 1 or 2 spaces, but literally it's because that's all they could possibly move.
Absolutely.
And then your ghosts
are the knights.
Directly like knights. They move 2 spaces forward, 1 to the left or right, or you can do the reverse.
Any L shape.
An L shape. So they work just like the knights. So I can choose to claim any piece. So I'm going to take my zombie and claim Rob's zombie. When I do, I replace it. Mine's still facing him. And his goes to my graveyard to be potentially spawned back to help me now as a character.
And so then it would be my turn. So I can take my skeleton and take his zombie.
Yep.
And put it in my graveyard because then I can summon it for my use later on.
And we're going to keep doing this, just claiming pieces, or, you can potentially, instead of claiming a piece, you could spawn the zombie. Now, you could spawn...
You just have to be adjacent to your necromancer.
Yes, it has to be one of the 8 spaces surrounding your necromancer. Now, in this case, the graveyard's in my back, so I couldn't spawn back here, but I have a space here or here to spawn, but it really does me no good back here. So I would probably just continue claiming pieces at this point. So, especially since if I
it does take your turn.
It does take your turn to spawn. Right. So you won't get, and you cannot spawn on top of another piece on the board. So you have to find an open space. So given that, I would probably go ahead and just try to claim his skeleton because I'm in threat with my skeleton right here. And now I have a skeleton that I can spawn as well.
Right. And so then I can use my ghost to take a skeleton.
Yep. So, and we're going to keep doing that until somebody is able to basically corner, just like a checkmate in chess, they're the necromancer.
Oh, it's like the king. It can move one in any direction.
It can move, it can move one in any direction. And, you're trying to get that piece to a situation where it's going to be captured no matter what. There's nothing they can do to stop it. And at that point, you win the game. And that took us about 15 minutes, just like it says.
Super quick. But it gives you that same satisfying feeling that a good game of chess can give you.
Yeah. So, and it's much shorter time and cute pieces, especially for a thematic time of year like this. So I really enjoyed this.
I did too.
As far as abstracts go, I like a lot of abstract games.
I love abstracts.
I'm probably going to give this an 8.5, I think.
I think I'm a 9. I mean, I really like Onitama. I really like War Chest. I really like Othello and those type of games. And it just gives me the same good feels. And so I'm a 9. I love it.
It's a lot lighter than like War Chess.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, if you don't mind the lightness of it, if you like chess, if you like playing variants of chess, I love Nightmare Chess is one of my favorite games. I love playing variants of chess, and this one is it doesn't scratch that heavy niche like Nightmare Chess would, but it could
if you get two really good players.
Yeah, you could go back and forth.
Yeah,
for a while.
It's just a smaller version, but it could still have the complexity. Just doesn't take as long.
Mm-hmm. And it just brings back memories, I said, of Seventh Guest. It hits all the right buttons for me. I think it's a great game.
We totally should have had the soundtrack playing when we were doing it.
Yeah, that would have been
awesome.
Great. Yeah. So check this out. Halloween. Yes. It's going to be on Kickstarter. I think it's already up on Kickstarter for the preview.
The preview has just got a brief description on there, but you can look it up there. Yeah. But it's ready to go.
Yeah, we'll put the link below so you can watch for it on Halloween night.
And I think we both highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, until next time. Bye.
Bye.